In November 2019, I took up a workshop on story branding to learn how to position myself, brand myself, and market myself on social media. It was a very exciting workshop, and I learned a lot. And after the workshop, I was so motivated and excited to take on 2020 and make it my best year yet as a coach and a trainer. Then we were hit by the pandemic, and on March 18th, we went into lockdown for 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks became another 2 weeks, and it dragged on for another 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. You know how the story goes. And as it dragged along, what happened was I lost a lot of jobs that were confirmed or postponed or canceled altogether. And then there were no projects were coming in. We were not allowed to do face-to-face. And that became a problem because I was an experiential trainer. And how do you do experiential training online? I didn't know how then. And as the money became lesser and lesser and the savings started to dwindle away, I was under pressure. I was stressed out, and I was really stressed out. I didn't know what to do. But yet I needed to get up every day, day after day after day, because I knew for sure, there was one thing I knew for sure, was that I needed to keep myself physically and mentally strong to go through this whole uncertainty, this whole pandemic. Now, being a trained coach and trainer, I was able to pick myself up the next day and the next day and the next day. But even then, that took its toll on me as well. And at some points, I had anxiety attacks. And at some point, I became so desperate that I didn't know what to do and kind of like lost for like the whole day. Now, I realized a lot of other people were going through the same thing that I was going through. They were stressed out. Everybody was stressed out. But I realized one thing, being a trainer and coach, even then it was difficult for me. What more for people who are not trained? How were they going through it? That was when I decided to create Rise, Take Charge of Your Life. My name is Jeffrey. I'm a Pathfinder, coach, and trainer. I help executives, managers, and CEOs find their path in their personal and professional development. Let me ask you this. What do you want to achieve or get out of in this 1 hour with me? I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to just jot down what you want to get out of this session. It could be you're looking for a job. It could be you want to earn more money. It could be you want to improve your relationships. Anything, right? Whatever is true for you. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and your 5 minute begins now. Write down whatever is true for you. As long as you can think it, write it down. You know, there are no right or wrong answers. And just jot down whatever you feel. Hi, I'm going to begin by sharing a story with you, my story. In November 2019, I took up a workshop on story branding to learn how to position myself, brand myself, and market myself on social media. It was a very exciting workshop, and I learned a lot. And after the workshop, I was so motivated and excited to take on 2020 and make it my best year yet as a coach and a trainer. Then we were hit by the pandemic, and on March 18th, we went into lockdown for 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks became another 2 weeks, and it dragged on for another 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. You know how the story goes. And as it dragged along, what happened was I lost a lot of jobs that were confirmed or postponed or canceled altogether. And then there were no projects were coming in. We were not allowed to do face-to-face. And that became a problem because I was an experiential trainer. And how do you do experiential training online? I didn't know how then. And as the money became lesser and lesser and the savings started to dwindle away, I was under pressure. I was stressed out, and I was really stressed out. I didn't know what to do. But yet I needed to get up every day, day after day after day, because I knew for sure, there was one thing I knew for sure, was that I needed to keep myself physically and mentally strong to go through this whole uncertainty, this whole pandemic. Now, being a trained coach and trainer, I was able to pick myself up the next day and the next day and the next day. But even then, that took its toll on me as well. And at some points, I had anxiety attacks. And at some point, I became so desperate that I didn't know what to do and kind of like lost for like the whole day. Now, I realized a lot of other people were going through the same thing that I was going through. They were stressed out. Everybody was stressed out. But I realized one thing, being a trainer and coach, even then it was difficult for me. What more for people who are not trained? How were they going through it? That was when I decided to create Rise, Take Charge of Your Life. My name is Jeffrey. I'm a Pathfinder, coach, and trainer. I help executives, managers, and CEOs find their path in their personal and professional development. Let me ask you this. What do you want to achieve or get out of in this 1 hour with me? I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to just jot down what you want to get out of this session. It could be you're looking for a job. It could be you want to earn more money. It could be you want to improve your relationships. Anything, right? Whatever is true for you. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and your 5 minute begins now. Write down whatever is true for you. As long as you can think it, write it down. You know, there are no right or wrong answers. And just jot down whatever you feel. Are you at a loss that you don't know where you want to go to? You don't know what you want to do? Or like for some people, they're stressed out because working from home, they have issues with relationships, or you got a pay cut, you lost your job, and you don't know what to do now. Or perhaps, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever is true for you. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, I want you to take a look at whatever you've written down, and see if it resonates with the next few statements that I'm going to share with you. Now, does anything you write down resonate with you want to be in control, or you want to be able to manage this uncertainty, this volatility, that environment that we're in? It's ambiguous, and it's also very complex, right? This VUCA environment, if you will. Or does it resonate with you want to rise up from where you are right now? You want to find some purpose. You want to find what's next for me, because I just lost a job and I don't know what to do, right? Or you just want to rise up and take charge of your life. Does anything you write resonate with any of the statements that I've shared with you? Well, if it does, then you're in the right place. I'm going to share with you 3 things that worked for me, that brought me back onto the path to rising up again. Now, the very first thing is you need to identify your problems. When I say identify your problems, it could be anything that is personal. For example, if you're working from home, you have your kids at home, you have your spouse at home, and you have to deal with your boss over Zoom, and that can be stressful. That could be a problem. You have relationship issues because of that, or you can't deal with your work because of that. That's a problem. Or you have professional problems, stuff that you deal with at work, and you can't seem to concentrate, or you can't seem to get your results, or you can't seem to get your team to come together and create results. Yeah. And thirdly would be people. Do you have problems with the people in your lives? Let me define relationships. Relationship problems that you have would be with people in your lives. It could be your spouse, your children, the rest of the family, okay? And personal problems, it could be health. It could be, since we are working from home, we pick up bad habits. We are binging on social media. We're binging on TV. We are binging on food. Personal problems like that. And then you have the professional problems. Professional problems can be, you're getting stressed out because now there is no 9 to 5. Now, the moment you wake up, your boss wants you online right up to 12 midnight, until such time that you don't even have your own time. Yeah. Or it could be a pay cut, or it could be a loss of job. So those are some of the problems, right? Identify those problems. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you 5 minutes to jot down all these problems that you have. Now, no problem is too big, no problem is too small, right? Because even the smallest problems can really get to you. Imagine this. If you're walking and you find a pebble in your shoe, right? A pebble or some grain of sand in your shoe. Keep walking and see what happens, right? You're gonna get blisters and it's gonna be uncomfortable and it's gonna hurt. And that problem can become a really huge problem. So that's why I say no problem is too small and none too big either. So just write it down, download all your problems onto a sheet of paper, and let's begin now. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. All right. As I said, those problems could be relationship problems because now that you have to face each other more, and you know, previously, whatever you have, you can escape to work, right? That's the truth. Some of us use work as an escape from the problems we face at home. But now that you're facing it every day, there is no escape. Every corner you go to, your spouse is with you. So that could be a problem. So it could be a communications problem, right? So just list down, yeah? Now the other problem you could be having is you could be so irritated with the kids because now you can't seem to work because they're making noise. They want to watch TV. Oh, mommy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I need this, I need that. So, you know, you're always distracted. So that is also a problem. And also work problems, work-related problems. Your boss doesn't seem to trust you because he doesn't know, he or she doesn't know whether you're working or not, right? And is bugging you, he's stressing out, you're stressing out. So nothing gets done. The only thing is both are being pushed to the edge of destruction. So it's all right. So you got your list down. Put in as many as you want. I mean, if you still have, you can always continue to write later on, but continue with that. And now, the reason why I'm asking you to put down all these problems is this. This activity is about you recognizing your problem and facing it. Because sometimes we have a problem, and especially, I'm just going to go on a sweeping statement here. A lot of men, when they have problems, they don't think of it as problems. And if you ask them, do you have a problem? They will tell you, no, I don't have a problem. It's okay. I can sort it out. But it's in the head, right? When the thing is in the head, sometimes we just push it aside, push it in the dark corner, and we forget about it. What you want to do is put these problems down on paper, recognize it, face it. Because if you don't face it, it doesn't seem real to you. For example, I was in denial that financially I was in trouble. I was in denial, but the money will come. I was in denial of that. Or, it will be sorted out soon enough. Yeah. So that's a dangerous thing because when you don't face it, it becomes a non-problem. And when it sneaks up on you, it's going to be huge. The next thing is you want to acknowledge these problems. Looking through all of this, acknowledge them that, yeah, this is the problem. That little squabble I had with my spouse, small thing, it's going to be a big problem. All right. That my boss calling me midnight, just asking for something because he is not sure if you have done it or not. Yeah, it's just taking 5 minutes of your time. It is a problem because it disturbs you. And if you take a look at whatever you have written down, if you think it is not a problem, then you wouldn't have written it down, right? But because you wrote it down, take a good look at it. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that this is your problem, no one else's. You've got no one to blame. You can't blame anyone because it doesn't affect them, but it affects you directly. Because it affects you and it affects you emotionally, you become their problem, right? So take a good look at your problem, acknowledge them, and finally, embrace this problem. This is yours, nobody else's. If you have a pay cut, it's your problem, not the company's problem. They've got their problems of their own. It is your problem because you need to find something to fill up that gap. If you lost your job, it's your problem. And as it compounds, it becomes someone else's problems as well, right? So what I want you to do is just compartmentalize this, yeah? Remember, recognize your problems, acknowledge your problems, and embrace it, okay? No more being in denial. Take ownership of it. Because at the end of the day, you are the one that needs to solve this problem. Because if you don't solve it, it will just blow up one day in your face. And like I said, it's gonna be huge, all right? The second thing that worked for me is exploring opportunities. Now you say, hey, I just lost my job. What opportunities do I have? You know, I've been working as an admin for the last 10 years. I don't know how to do anything else. Or I'm a driver. I don't know how to do anything else. I've been driving, doing deliveries all this while. Now, I don't have any more deliveries to do because, well, factory is not open. Everybody is not open. What can we do, right? So I want you to explore possibilities. Look at what possibilities you will have. Again, I'm going to go into an exercise where I want you to list down the skills that you have and the knowledge that you have. Now, all of us have accumulated a lot of skills along our way to where we are today, or knowledge. We have acquired a lot of knowledge as well, right? Now, let's define this a little bit. When I'm talking about skills, skills are things that you're good at doing. For example, gardening is a skill, painting is a skill, cooking is a skill. So some of you are so good at cooking or baking that, you know, everybody loves it, but you never made it into, you never made money out of it, yeah? So that could be your skills. So I want you to list down as many skills that you have, yeah? Consider this an upgrade of your CV, yeah? What are the skills that you have? Number two, the other thing is knowledge. I want you to also list down the knowledge that you have, because all of us, we do have our hobbies. We read, yeah, and there's certain things that we love to read. Some people love to read about history. Some people love to read about psychology. Some people, you know, there are so many things. We have a lot of knowledge. So I want you to list down all the knowledge that you have and all the skills that you have, right? but you're gonna get only 5 minutes to do this. So be quick about it and write down all the skills and all the knowledge that you have, right? If it's a hobby, well, you would have certain amount of, a hobby can be between skills and knowledge, right? Some hobbies you require skill, some hobbies you require knowledge to keep, yeah? So put it down. Building things, for example, if you're good at handiwork, it's also a skill. If you know how to lay bricks, that's a skill. And if you know how to ride a bike, it's also a skill. If you're working as an admin manager, assistant, whatever, if you have knowledge of accounting or law, that is also knowledge that that could be useful somehow, somewhere. All right. So I'm sure you have had listed down a lot of stuff. Now I want you to take a look at all of this stuff. Take a look at all of this stuff and see if any of this could become the next side hustle for you. Whether it's a side hustle or whether it's a full-time job. For example, baking. I've known people to start baking and selling them home-baked cookies, cakes, and stuff, and made lots of money, more money than when they were working for someone else. Yeah. It could also be just a side hustle. Yeah, where you supply all this food to your office mates or for the events or whatever it is. Like I said, it could be a side hustle or it could be a full-time job. You never know. Yeah. So I want you to explore this. After you have listed all of them down, I just want you to explore it and start picking up what are the possibilities of the skills that you have. Could I do this? Could I do that? Or, maybe I should try this. Since I'm out of a job, what's there to lose? Right? Or if I've got a pay cut, perhaps one of the skills could fill up the gap of that lost income, right? Or it could be, start a new venture with someone else just because you know something, you know how to run stuff, you know how to do bookkeeping, you know how to manage a business. You can always have a startup, whatever, right? So it's good to actually explore possibilities, because if you have been working for 5-10 years in one particular job description, you might think that's the only thing you know, right? By exploring, it will open up your possibilities. Like I said, it will open up opportunities for you. All right. Now that you've got all this down, now that you've got all these things down, the third thing that worked for me was having a game plan. Now, having a game plan, like I said, you pick up what you feel that could work for you, that you would like to do, pick it up and start planning, strategize how you're going to go about it. All right. So when you do your game plan, have this in mind. Use a SMART goal model to plan out what you want to do, what you want to achieve at the end of the day. Yeah. The SMART goal, S stands for specific. Be specific about what you want to do, right? For example, I want to do gardening. I want to do gardening. I want to help people spruce up their garden, make their garden beautiful. Be specific. Is it indoor gardens or terrariums or building landscapes, whatever. Be specific. Make it measurable, because within next month, 2 months, or 3 months, what are you going to achieve with this new goal of yours, with this game plan? What do you want to achieve in the next 3 months? It could be in monetary value. You might want to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to bake cakes and I'm going to make $5,000 a month. Yeah, it's measurable. Or it's going to be 6,000. Or by the end of 3 months, I'm going to make 20,000, for example. Make it measurable. And A is for attainable. Is it attainable? Is it possible? Right? You're going to say in 3 months, I want to make $1 million baking cake. It's not possible. Or is it? If it's possible for you, then put it down, right? It has to be relevant to whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah, don't go way off. And you need to have a time frame. Yeah, everything that you set, especially your goals that you set, you want to have a time frame. If you don't have a time frame, who knows when it's going to get done, right? You can't even keep track of it. Right? When you have a time frame, you have milestones that you can watch out for, and that keeps you in line. All right. So basically, these are the 3 things that have gotten me to rise back up again, to start doing trainings online, and to in fact do experiential trainings online and make it impactful as well. Because at one point I didn't believe that it could happen. At one point I felt that it was just too hard, that I could not reach out to people just like I did when I was doing face-to-face trainings. But I realized that I can actually make it happen. But it was a learning process, and it was also, I transferred my skills face-to-face to online. Yeah, so it is possible. And I've also learned how to market myself more effectively now as compared to before. And previously I would not do a video, but now I'm doing it with a lot more smoothness, even though it's a little bit jittery here and there every now and then, but it has become a lot smoother. So the key is have a game plan. You know, just as they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? You want to plan it such that if you know if it doesn't work, then you can move on to something else, right? Example, if you start selling cakes online, it doesn't work. Your marketing is not working. Maybe you want to try something different. Yeah, how you want to reach out to people. So there's a lot of components there for you to think about. So make sure you have a game plan and a strategy, right? So basically, those are the 3 things that I can share with you. That will definitely help you to rise up from where you are right now. If you're in, if you have a lot of problems, and even if you have one problem, right, it will help you to rise up from there. Now, the next step basically is just to take action, right? Just take action, because if you don't take action, nothing is going to happen. If you just keep it right in here, nothing is going to happen. Just like your problems. If you keep your problems in your head, you don't deal with it, you don't acknowledge it, you don't recognize it, you don't embrace it, it remains here, and it's going to stress the hell out of you, right? So take action. Okay. My advice to you is take action. Small actions, little itty bitty steps. Take it, chisel at it, chip away at it until you solve it. All right. Now, in order to make all of this work, it is going to be challenging. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. It will be challenging because you're venturing into new territory, right? It's going to be challenging. To make all of this work and become a success for you, you need to have the right mindset. You need to have a mindset whereby, you need to have a growth mindset where everything is possible. Don't come from a mindset where, been there, done that, those people tried it, it didn't work out for them. Well, it didn't work out for them, but it could work out for you. Who's to say that, right? So you need to have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset that it cannot be done, thinking small, blah, blah, blah. Have a growth mindset. The next one, you need to have the heart for it. Yeah. So it's mind, heart, and your body. I'll get to the body later, but heart, you need to have the heart for it. If you're going to force yourself to do something that you don't like, it will not work. You'll find all the excuses you can to put it off, right? And why I say the body, it is going to be a long haul. It's going to be a marathon. It's not going to happen overnight just like that. Just because you had a great plan, it's not going to happen like that. It's a marathon. You're going to go through trial and error, and it's going to be challenging, like I said. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you another story here. Imagine you are stranded on a desert island, right? Is it a problem? It definitely is a problem because food source is going to run out and you're going to grow old and die on the desert island if you don't get out of there. Now, the tools that I've shared with you, identifying your problem, exploring possibilities, and having a game plan, these 3 tools that you have, imagine if these tools were tools that you could use to build a boat, right? These are the tools that you use to build your boat so that you can sail away from this desert island and go back home. Right? You've built this boat, you've put up a sail, and you've got a beautiful blue sail, and it works perfect. Push the boat into the sea, you get on the boat, and you have a nice little oar made out of, you carved it beautifully, and it works fantastic. With every pull, you can really feel the boat sliding across the water. And with the beautiful sail that you built, it catches the wind so well that it's moving your boat towards the direction that you want to go. What happens if there is no wind? What happens when you get exhausted from rowing? What happens? You just lie down and wait in the middle of the sea while the boat rocks, going nowhere, just rocking and rocking. And perhaps because of the tide and the wave, it might push you back towards the island again. You think you're going to go towards your home? No, you're not. This is where the mindset comes in. The mindset is going to drive you. The heart is going to drive you because you desire to get home. This is what's going to drive you throughout this journey. The mindset is going to make you get up again and start rowing again, or find a way. Maybe I might need to move in a different direction to catch the wind and slowly move back into the direction that I need to go. If you have the right mindset, you will maneuver your boat to go with the waves, to go with the wind into the direction that you want it to lead it to. Physically, your body needs to be strong. Because like I said, it's going to be long haul. It's going to be challenging. You need to be fit, because when you're fit, your mind thinks clearer. And when you're fit, you are more inspired to do more. So basically, these are the final 3 ingredients that is going to make whatever I've shared with you work. Now, if you are unsure of any part of this, you can ask me questions. And if you want to know more, you can always hit me up buy me a cup of coffee, or hit me up for a 30-minute coaching call, or have a chat with me, right? And see how I can help you or serve you in getting to where you want to go to. Once again, I'm Jeffrey. I'm a Pathfinder, coach, and trainer. Thank you very much.
All right. Hi, everybody. Just want to check through if you all can see us here. And while we are checking to that, I would like to thank everyone once again for coming in, for tuning in to this session today. All right. So just a little brief recap of what we have listened from our wonderful speaker today, Jeffrey. Thank you for being with us as well. Okay. So Jeffrey has gone us through with a little bit of tools that to help to get us through with our problems. And also what is important, we need to know is we need to acknowledge them. So with that, we also need to voice it out. All right. Before I continue further, there is a question by L. Chan, and I would like to ask our wonderful speaker here today. So the question sounds like this. When someone else's problems escalate to become your problem, how to go step by step in solving this?
Step by step. Okay. Now, this is quite usual actually. So first, I think the both of you need to sit down and really put the problems up front. Bring it up front. Whatever you perceive it to be, or whatever the other person perceive it to be, let's put it on the table, lay it on the table, and work together to get a solution. Because like it or not, we can't just say, hey, you know what, it's not my problem, it's your problem. You go deal with it now, right? But looking at it, it's already becoming your problem. So I think it would really be helpful if you were to sit down with that person and trash it out, put it out, lay it on the table, and find a solution together. Because 2 heads are definitely better than 1. Yeah, at least you can brainstorm and find a way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope that
All
answers the question. Yeah.
All right, Elchan, if you still have any other inputs or any other question you would like to ask, feel free to ask, as well as those who are tuning in from the Boom platform, as well as those who are tuning in from Facebook Live as well. Okay, I think we do have a couple more questions by Elchan. Okay, right. Wow. The question here is, so how to avoid procrastination?
Procrastination. I think this is a problem a lot of us have. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it is more more often than most. It is quite a detrimental thing to a lot of us. Well, procrastination, what I can say is that it is not easy, of course, but take it one step at a time. Everything, let's just say if you have a project that you need to do, right? And you keep putting it off. So what you want to do is like, you know what, lay it out and go tackle it, like say 5-10 minutes, spend 5-10 minutes of your time. Every moment you get, you spend 5-10 minutes of your time. So you're chipping at it bit by bit. And what happens is it will actually escalate, because you will get yourself into a bit of a momentum and a flow, and then you will begin to get it happening. Yeah. But again, it needs to be practiced. It is something you need to continue practicing until it becomes second nature to you. So that, the moment you see a problem or a moment you see a project that you need to do, you will just jump at it. Yeah. Practice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. And also, I guess it's relating back to what you have mentioned previously in the video, in your speech. That you have talked about exploring the possibilities out of it.
Right.
So I'm sure even in procrastination, which many of us, we definitely have gone through that. At certain times, we choose to procrastinate because we just say, you just can't take it anymore. Once in a while, it's okay, we just procrastinate. This kind of thing. Yeah, but it's always good to also learn the lesson that you have taught us, that we have to look into the possibilities that we have. So how can we help into this? And so it's something very interesting. You did mention that a very good practical skill where everyone was going through just now, that we need to list down the skills and knowledge that we have.
Yeah.
But would that also help in the sense when it comes to procrastination and stuff that we want to do, things that we need to do?
Well, it does. Procrastination will definitely show up right here, right now. When imagine this, when I ask you to just write it down, and you kind of I know what problems, what skills I have, what knowledge I have. I'll just write it down later. That's straight up procrastinating already. Yeah. So then the second part to it is, after you have written down, because we are interactive right now, you have written it all down, put it all down, and then you put this piece of paper to the side, forgetting about it. For who knows, whenever. It's just like whenever we attend a workshop or something, we get all these nice little manuals, we write things down, and then we go home, we put it somewhere and forget it 1 year later.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. As they say, 1 year later. Yeah. So, it is a disease, if you will, an affliction to a lot of us. But yeah, you just gotta just chip at it, Yeah. Like every moment you can, because when we say we don't have time, that's really not true, because we do have 24 hours just like everybody else. And if other people can be so successful at doing it, why can't we? So it's got to deal with our mindset, how important that thing is to us, or how important it is for us to get it done. Yeah. If you notice it, like for example, when push comes to shove, at the 11th hour, we do our best work. Yeah, but we had 1 whole week to prepare. We do nothing.
Yeah.
So we have the capability and the capacity to do it. It's just that it's our mindset. Okay lah, wait lah, later lah. So so it's a practice.
True though. Even L did come in with his input by saying that we procrastinate the difficult things than the things we like to do. So that's what is really true though.
Yeah. Well, that actually is not so much procrastinating. That is actually more avoiding.
And
Avoiding because we know it's not something I like to do. So okay lah, let my later lah.
or is it because sometimes when you have so many work or problems, it doesn't just come one or two, it comes in a package.
Yeah.
It doesn't come one.
Yeah. Especially when you keep on putting it aside. Yeah. And
Right.
if you notice, a lot of times the things that we procrastinate are things that we resist.
Yeah, and then you also did mention just now previously that we need to always have this growth mindset.
Yeah,
so it will help us to develop further, and also having a
yes.
game plan.
Yes, because growth mindset also will tell you that when you have a fixed mindset, Allah, I have so many things to do. I don't have the time. You will tell yourself you don't have the time. But with the growth mindset, you're going to look at, okay, where can I slot this in my 24 hours a day? How can I slot this in? Right? Even if I have to sleep early, but I can't process stuff when it's so late at night. I do it better in the morning. Then get up better in the morning. Get up in the morning and do it. So a lot to do with mindset. That is something that we need to actually just explore a lot more.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we explore to suit our own preference that suits our own momentum as well, right? Because we don't have a one size fit all solution kind of thing.
Correct. And it's also to find out what is it that we are resisting.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
Correct.
a lot of stuff that we resist. It will be so interesting if you actually are able to explore yourself.
Correct. That is so true as well.
Right.
All right. Maybe we can have a final question before we end this session for today.
Okay.
So let me go through all the chats. All right. Okay. There's a final question.
Yeah.
Just so that we can wrap this up a little bit. Okay. There was a mention of a game plan that we need to use a SMART goal model, which is really very interesting. As well as when these days, when the pandemic hits, everybody is really turning to online, and we know that we are so into online, which there are definitely great benefits, but there are some people who will get fatigued out of it. And there's something that you mentioned, which I find it really interesting. You call it the experiential learning online.
Right.
Do you mind just a little bit more, and then we can conclude the session?
Okay. Experiential learning online will be, you see, experiential learning happens when you're engaged to do something and you actually, for example, it's like riding a bicycle, right? If you were to ride a bicycle or swim, that's called experiential learning. You learn through making mistakes and all that. So online, how we make that happen is it requires a lot of engagement. So what I do is I will actually have people who want to learn something to turn on the videos so that we can engage interactively, right? Versus, just me talking to a black box. Yeah. So when that engagement occurs, an experience can happen if the person allows themselves to be immersed in that question. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. How can I put it? I guess one way to find out would be just to come in and let us explore together. I can't explain it online for you.
I understand. Because this is not something that is very theoretical. It's something that we really need to practice. And now, how the session we're having right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
Exactly.
understand. Yes, it's very true to bring up the engagement. And I really do hope that even with our slide chat, a very few minutes of a chit chat session here, it could help people to understand certain things.
Right.
Yeah. So this really good. This is interesting to know about how we can go about, not only learning through all this experiential learning, or even online or even offline.
Yeah.
How do we have this personal mastery of ourselves and what we need to do and how we need to go about?
Yeah. I think most importantly is if you want to have an experience, it is really to participate. Yeah, if you participate fully, I can guarantee you will definitely have an experience. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so it's really your mind, your body, and your heart really opened up, ready to explore. That will be
Right.
a great experience. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. And so with that, I just want to take this time to thank you once again, Jeffrey. I really like your story and what you have shared with us as well. And I really hope that every one of you have really, really benefited from what you have learned for today. A little bit here and there, I'm sure it will really help us. Jeffrey, you want to have anything you want to add?
Well, all I can say is that yeah, I know it's really short, but if you have more questions, you know where you can reach me. Reach out to me, and we'll have a chat. I actually do have a 30-minute chat if you're a coaching question or whatever it is. Let me know. See how I can serve you.
All right, that's good. So you
Right?
can always find Jeffrey's LinkedIn profile in the chat on the virtual platform. And so with that, I would like to say thank you to everybody for joining our session today. Take care and stay safe, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Abel. Thank you, everybody.
All right.